it to me, bring your sweet loving. Sounds the voice of man called Mr. Ken Boone. I tell you. Well, we're live inside the studio, inside the man cave on YouTube Live right now, 12 till 2. Still in junction with Skyline Radio up until that time as well. Final Sunday, I tell you. Now, we've got some extracts we're going to play for you on the other side of the show here right now. Of course, let me find the one I'm looking for, and then I'll play for you right now. Gonna play one from this man that everybody loves to get a piece of dub plate from, and some people are still trying to price and give him a good price for his songs. But it seems like Love Injection's on the score sheet on this one. Don't forget 40 years of celebration for Love Injection in the business. Congratulations going out to the Love Injection family. Shouting out to you, Winston. Big up yourself and all your crew as well. And all the other sounds are out there who admire the sounds of Love Injection. And my experience with Love Injection goes back way back when all the team was all together. I know the separations there, here and everywhere, but before that, it was a great combination, a great love. I've got loads of Love Injection cassettes up in the top room. And big shout out to Tyrone Melody, who once tapped me in one shop and says, "You me one," I says, "What's up?" He says, "You've got all the cassettes of all the Love Injections dances, and you want one still." So I said, me to dig up all that? Me to dig up all... All right. But here's the man that everybody wants to have a piece of right now. Dub plate style, but we're going to play it like this, 7/5. And I received it like this. It's a bookcase given to me by a man called Big Man Slim, who is no longer with us. And he gave me this particular, CD as well, alongside the vinyl as well. So a great booklet. I'm treasuring this right now. But we're going to play this one for the mass right now. Take a listen to this. Bitty McLean. Bitty McLean. Sounds a Bitty McLean on this one.
Sometimes laugh, sometimes cry, sometimes low, sometimes high. There's no use trying to understand if broken hearts can mend. And don't you know?
And those who have me live and direct, you can see that the sun's trying to break through my blinds.
When nowhere, just nature's plan.
Sounds of Bitty McLean. This one, I tell you.
'Cause it's all a part of love. When we fall in and out of love, sometimes hard, sometimes mine, sometimes seek, sometimes find. What's the use trying to comprehend if broken hearts can mend? And don't you know there's no ifs, buts, when, nowhere, just nature's plan. 'Cause it's all
In and out of love. Shout going to all the ladies in tune this afternoon. Big up yourselves. Yeah, man, sounds of Bitchy McLean. Yeah, say good afternoon, good night to you, country Judah. Big up yourselves, how you mean every time.
Sometimes sweet.
We're going to play an extract after this song. Now we're going to play the one called Betrayed. Betrayed in Paradise on Holiday. Now you've got people who they mean good, they mean well, and some don't. Now, as young people going to an island you've never been to before, and ones that's got a popular name, especially in the Caribbean or wherever it may be, you're looking forward to it. But sometimes there are stigmas and motives when someone sends you there or say, come here, or we'll take you here, we'll take you there, and give you a great time, great fun. You have everything paid for, everything, above board, everything nice. And when everything is nice, you feel great. I'm sure. Many of you may have been in a sticky position. But when I say sticky, a real sticky position, gonna play you this here right now. Something for everyone to take notice for those who are going on holiday for the first time. Remember, there are a few things you need to learn before you leave your backyard. Listen to what grandma said. Listen to granddad. Listen to your parents. If they've been abroad, they would have heard all these stories. But some people tend to ignore those stories and get themselves stuck in hot water. Here we're going on this one here right now. Take a listen to this.
Hi, this is Amanda White. A big shout out goes out to the Godfather. He is the voice on the Keep It Real Sunday show on skylineradio.org.uk. Amanda White says, keep listening. He is the best and no one can contest. Stay blessed and stay tuned in.
And my people, as promised, the two young girls them will go to Jamaica, and unfortunately they didn't make it back to the UK. They are still stuck in Jamaica after almost 18 months. They are stuck in Jamaica awaiting sentencing to go to prison in a Jamaica. All because one of them, Genevieve's boyfriend, gave her some sneakers and slippers to carry back to the UK, and they did not make it through the airport. People, we know this quite well, them little chaps here, but it's interesting to listen how this boy try to explain himself like he's so innocent, like he knew nothing about what was in those sneakers. Right? He had a friend from all the way from Trelawney who carry sneakers come game for Kiaga, England. One whole heap of sneakers and sliders. What we call sliders, for who don't know, is slippers. You understand, people? Do you guys really believe that this boy never know Wagwan? Do you guys really believe that this boy was simply helping out a friend from Trelawney who he knew? And do you actually believe that this friend was so embarrassed to ask these girls to take back the sneakers for him, for his cousin or his brother in the UK? Let me tell you something. You see, oftentimes when you get shook up in a life, it's going to be from somebody close to you. Because a stranger would have never come and ask such a favor. It will always be a friend. And this boy who, and listen how they bribe these little young girls. They make sure pay for them flight for go to Jamaica, pay for them accommodation, pay for them food, pay for them entertainment money, and then the only favor I'm going to ask you is just a little tiny favor. Could you take back these sneakers and these sliders back to the UK for me? Worst nightmare ever. Those girls right now are regretting the day. Never even the day that they try to bring back these sliders back to the UK. The day that them even take that trip, go to Jamaica. Imagine 2 young girls who knows nothing about Jamaica, who have no friends in Jamaica, who no have no close relative in Jamaica with them rap with like that. And today, they have been stuck in Jamaica for almost 18 months. Stuck, cannot leave. Documentation them get wall and pan and all of these things. So people no tell me this now. Do you guys really think there is any way to cope with this? And not only that, knowing that your time in Jamaica is not even a time for you to go enjoy yourself or do nothing. You are literally in Jamaica waiting to go to prison. And then we have this boy I try explain himself. Maybe me not hear right and hear all of the cracks them in that story and realize that boy is a damn blasted liar. But people, let me ask you know this. Uno can have a listen and Uno will tell me if this boy is a liar or not. Because me know for sure say that boy is a wicked piece of boy. And them plan and do what them a do. The only part when me I try to figure out is if the girls really and truly didn't know anything about what was inside these trainers and slippers. That is the only part that puzzle me. Because everything just seems off in all of this. Everything just seems off. But my people, as me say, we are going to have a listen and hear what really happened from the boy's side and him know nothing. Make we have a listen now, guys.
Have you spoke to Jenny?
I haven't spoke to Jenny since she left.
So, and you haven't... Have you tried messaging her or anything?
Well, I tried calling her, messaging her, I tried to do everything.
This is Paris's mum. Jenny's in jail and you know Jenny's in jail. You know Jenny's in jail in Jamaica.
Why would I know that?
How do you mean why would you know? Jenny left here and told us that she's going to Jamaica. You were there. You have invited her in Jamaica. When did you get back from Jamaica?
I'm not back.
What do you mean you're not back? This phone rings as if you're in the UK. So don't you know what happened to Jenny?
I have no clue. Since she's left, I've been trying to contact her, but there's been the messages haven't been going through.
So where did she stay in Jamaica? Because I told Jenny not to go. So where did she stay in Jamaica?
In an Airbnb.
So she stayed in the Airbnb. How did cocaine get in a shoe? Jenny was asked, you and your cousin asked Jenny to bring back pairs of shoes from Jamaica. Why would you ask to bring pairs of shoes? Ask Jenny to bring pairs of shoes from Jamaica to the UK when there is more shoes here in the UK than Jamaica?
It wasn't me that asked myself personally.
So it was your cousin.
So who asked?
It's not my cousin. It's just a friend from Trelawney that I have out here.
So what's his name?
But Jenny is not from Jamaica or anything like that. So why would somebody give her something to come back? So this was all planned.
This is nothing to do with from what I know. This is just, he said that he needed to get the shoes there for his brother in England. That's all I know.
So who?
Obviously, he said that it'd be too much in the post for it to be done. So he said that if they could carry it back, then it would help him out a lot. That's all I know.
Right.
All of this stuff that you're telling me, this is only stuff that I've just found out. You lot are the first person to tell me this.
So Jenny was meant to come back on Sunday, leave Jamaica on Sunday and come back, reach on Monday. She's not there. She's in jail in Montego Bay because they've got the caught her with cocaine in them same shoes.
Oh my God.
So that's what's been happening. She's locked up in Jamaica in jail because the cocaine. So this guy who asked her to bring the shoes is from Trelawney.
Yeah.
So who knows this guy? Your cousin?
He's not my cousin. He's just a friend that
So
I
what's
know.
it called? Because he gave me his Instagram and I can't seem to find it again.
Say that again.
He gave me his Instagram the first night Jenny got there and I was on FaceTime to her.
So have you tried messaging him?
No, but it's gone. It's like he's deactivated it.
So wait.
Let me try to contact him because literally since Jen and I have gone, I haven't spoke to him. Like I left him that day.
So wait. Let me say something because I'm getting confused. I'm from Jamaica. She said I know what's going on. She said to us that she's going to St. Mary. Then she said she's going to Ocho Rios. So how somebody from Trelawney then giving her shoes to bring back? Jenny don't know nobody in Jamaica.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying. I said it was a friend of mine, but I don't know him like that. Obviously, you say cousin, you just say cuz, but it's not actually my cousin. It's just someone I know from over there.
Right. So that person that you know from over there gave Jenny the shoes to bring back.
He's the one that asked her to bring the shoes. Yeah.
Oh.
But he said it was on behalf of his brother in England. So, obviously they asked me there must be nothing dodgy with the shoes. And I said, bro, what kind of madness? I didn't even know that.
But when we there, I had nothing nice like Jamaica, roast breadfruit and banana. Under the tree with a glass of lemonade, jumping at the river when me ready for bed. No boy can't buy me out, me no foreign-minded, no way compared to Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica.
Everybody wants a piece of Jamaica love. There we have a situation where two girls who didn't have a clue what was going on, didn't have a clue what they were walking into, but they went to Jamaica with people who they thought could give them a real good time, and got themselves in hot water carrying stuff for people. You know the rules in Jamaica. At the airport, they always ask you, did you pack your suitcase yourself? And you say yes. Well, okay. So if the answer is yes, that means you know what's in your suitcase. The amount of time me go to Jamaica, and the amount of time them ask me that same question. You see, when I pack my suitcase, me empty my suitcase from top to bottom. From top to bottom. Search up every creepy sound corner. If you can find a Hoover, me find a Hoover and Hoover it out. Clean out everything. You never know how good these people are. Tampering with your luggage and your suitcase and find little crevice and corner and all these things. And then I pack it myself. And then I lock it myself. And that suitcase don't move my side until me jump into my taxi and me reach the airport. These girls were very naive because they had a good time. Of course, people will say this and this and this are my friend, this are my family, this are my cousin, do me a favor and all these things. And with your bright eyes, with your big, bright, big eyelashes, open up like a cat. And I say, yeah, I'll take it, yeah, because you've had a good time. But behind every action, there's a reaction. And the reaction that they had was 18 months in prison, at the moment still waiting for trial, and the mother not too happy with the whole saga. It's a saga out there. So people, anytime you go abroad, any country, not just Jamaica, make sure you find out where you go and who's taking you where. All right, so be careful about the people that you mingle with. All right, so make sure you know what's happening around you and make sure you do your own investigation. Make sure you do your own investigation because you never know what may happen to you in the long run. All right? Well, all right. ScannerRadio.org.uk. Once again, welcome to the YouTube. Welcome here till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to play a tune from the voice of the man called Mr. Big Youth. Mr. Big Youth say, what is going on? What's going on? What was that, Big Youth? What's going on? For those traveling abroad and far away, be careful. You never know what's going on out there. What we say?
Mother, mother, we don't need to escalate. Oh, brother, brother, brothers, we don't need to calculate. You know we've got to find a way. Brother, brother, brothers, there's far too many of you crying. Oh, brother, brother, brothers, there's far too many of you dying. You know we got to find a way to bring some love in here today. You got a wicked life, I tell you, when a wicked tips, baby, don't you bother me with your brutality. Come in and talk to me, sure that you can see. Brother, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Sister, what's going on? Brother, what's going on? What's going on? Going on? Don't go and talk about my mother. You see, God is my friend. Rastafari is my friend. He made this world for us to live in and give us everything. All he asks of us is we give each other love. Oh yeah, love you, brothers. You got to love your sisters. Reach out and love your mother. Go on, love your father. Don't go and talk about.
Don't talk about it. What's going on? Be careful when you travel overseas, abroad. You never know how things are. People will treat you nice and sweet with the potential of doing something that you didn't expect to happen to you. So these girls who've never been to Jamaica and find themselves in a position that you and I wouldn't want to be in. Shout to their mother and people concerned.
Reach out and love your
Have you ever got yourself in a sticky situation? I remember one time being at the airport in Montego Bay. Me and Mr. V. I tell you, that was many years ago, many donkeys. And we were stopped at the airport, searched. And we had them big tin of cheese. Them round, big tin of cheese, And what happened, they wanted to see what was in the cheese. And I says, hold on there, brother. You want to search that? Yeah, well, we have to search everything in a brother car. You never know, So, well, why? Okay, take it. And they took the cheese and opened the cheese up, and they didn't find nothing, And they just, whether it's random or it's just the way that you look, or you look suspicious, or they got the powers to say to you, excuse me, sir, miss, can you just stand that side, and we just want to check that everything's fine, and you're thinking, yeah, well, go on. And you got the sniffer dog there sniffing away. It's just part of the routine, but taking things back to Jamaica that you didn't bring to Jamaica, bringing things back to England when you didn't take anything to Jamaica in the first place, you got yourself in hot water. I'm going to say shout out to the lady who said to me that she loved the Bitter McLean song. There's another one. I do love it. This is how it comes. It comes like this. If anybody's got one of those, limited edition, all right, on the tax label. Of course, Sly and Robbie Dunbar, their label. As you know, big shout to all the family for the Dunbar family and Sly and Robbie, them two, man, when they come to the taxi label. Once you enter a record shop and you got a taxi label record, that record, they're bad. Because them two man was bad. Well, all right, so we won't play another one right now, but Gonna play something that I found this morning, and of course, I just want to make you all know that there's a show going on, and I'll be looking at the listing to find out basically where they are. And funny enough, there's not a show in Wolverhampton. I don't know why. I don't know why there isn't a show in Wolverhampton, but yeah, we'll see if we can find out where that show's going to be. Take a listen to this here right now. I'm going to play something for you right now. So, of course, Milestone. Have anybody ever heard of the voice of the man called Mr. Victor Richard? Victor Richard. Now, here's a man that talk about milestone. We talk about the days of the big people, the generation of people. I'll be relating this back some other time as well, because the photos and that, I didn't get a chance to upload them up so you can see who I'm talking about. But take a good listen to this right now, and just get an idea of what to look forward to, and hope it does come to our neck of the woods in Wolverhampton. It's coming to Birmingham, so look out for the dates on that. It's called a Milestone. Victor Richard. It talks about the Britain paid with gold, and that was a word that was used back in them days in the 60s. Or it could have been before that time. England was paid with gold. And it wasn't gold, it was snow. But I don't know. Didn't they get any pictures or any photographs of what England was like at the time before they came over? I don't know. I don't know what they were looking at. Cameras at them days, we didn't know much about cameras back in them days. And now it's time, we only knew about the Kodak and, the Kodak cameras and stuff like that. And they were expensive back in our time. So you just imagine your mum and dad trying to get a camera, and it's like, what do you want a camera for? We didn't know the use of cameras like we have phones today, and we're always taking pictures and pictures. And when it comes to the phone nowadays, everybody's videoing this and that and all these things, and it's on the internet within seconds. You got to be careful what you do. You got to be careful. Take a listen to this. Mr. Victor Richards talks about the milestones of the roads that Britain was paid with gold that he heard about. Take a listen to this.
After 30 years of touring the original solo Windrush play across the UK by Victor Richards, that powerful story now lives on the big screen, preserving the legacy, the struggle, and the triumph of the Windrush generation. Following sellout screenings at Phoenix Cinema in Leicester and Northampton Film House in autumn 2025, the journey continues in 2026, bringing history, heritage, and community to audiences nationwide. Join us at Phoenix Cinema, Leicester, 13th to 16th March. Midlands Arts Centre, Birmingham, 22nd March. Bonington Theatre, Nottingham, 29th March. Dugdale Arts Centre, Enfield, London, 22nd April. Arts Picture House, Cambridge, 21st June. The Corn Exchange, Bedford, 14th June. And Northampton Film House, 28th June. Each screening is more than a film, featuring special guest speakers, live Q&A sessions, and community conversations that bring the story to life. Designed for families, schools, churches, and communities, Milestone, Streets Paved with Gold, is an educational and emotional journey. Whether you're discovering the Windrush story for the first time or reconnecting with your roots, this is your invitation. This is more than a film. It's a milestone.
When I first arrived in England, everything was unfamiliar. The early days weren't easy, but over time, I built a life. I found work, raised a family, and made memories I'll carry forever. There were struggles, but also laughter, love. I'm going back home to Barbados in the morning.
Remove every stone
I don't care what they do. I tell you.
I shall remove every stone.
I know a Ganguli this, you know. I'm a represent for Skyline Radio, Vinyl Sunday, every last Sunday of each month. Walk and tell the nation. Oi, Satol, Sata.
Shall remove every stone from my door.
So that was the voice of man called Mr. Victor Richards. If you want to find out more about this particular brother, go to victorrichards.com, and I'm sure you'll find some details about him on that platform as well. But next week I'll get all the drafts up and everything else and play it again, so you can see some images and some pictures. You know, I didn't have time this morning. I don't think I was too much under the waters last night, but the milestone of the Windrush story. It's a one-man play.
Every stone from my door. Don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. I shall remove every stone.
I can guarantee you this type of song, you'll find them chudong somewhere in the cupboard, somewhere in the house, somewhere. Sometimes it's good to bring back the old-time remedies and the emotions and the lifestyle that we used to live back in them days when we were young. Mommy and Daddy would dance to this in front of the kids and everything else, as happy. They were in love in a different way, I tell you. I tell you what I heard the other day. I tell you what I saw the other day. I'm sure it's America. I'm sure I could be wrong. I need to look at it more in details. I did save it. And I'm just saving certain things for when the time comes for me to play the videos for you right now. But just taking one step at a time. They were wearing fashion clothing there from the days, top hats, bowler hats. No matter whether they were thin or fat, they were having fun. The women were dressed in some clothing that I said, yo, in them days you find them, it's like the blues days. It's like fashion. And they were dancing to tunes like this, my people. Tunes like this they were dancing to. What a... Back in them days when things was...
We all got to move Sunday. We all got to move Sunday. Brother got to move. Sister got to move. We all got to move Sunday.
We all gonna move someday back to wherever we come from or where we're going to. But back in them days, 1962, we all have to move one day. They were talking about England and other parts of the country around the world. I tell you.
We all got to move Sunday. We all got to move Sunday. Brother got to move. Sister got to move. We all got to move Sunday. We all got to move Sunday.
You can't tell me you've never heard this song before. Everybody's had this song in their gram. You heard it before. You've heard it.
We all got to move Sunday. We all got to move Sunday. We all got to move Sunday.
Gotta say good afternoon, my friend Paul. Big up yourself. Shout out to Isaacs. Once again, I gotta find that song for Righty.
We all got to move Sunday.
I'll see if I can find that tune for you right now. Hold on.
Brother got to move. Sister got to move. We all got to move.
Gotta say shout to Mr. Turner. Yo, Twiggy, good afternoon. How you mean? Hey. Later on, some great classics still coming your way this Sunday afternoon. 5 o'clock, of course, Valentino, Melody Sunday. 7:30 till 10, Mr. Fix. And from 10 till 1, Redskin Levi.
We all got to move Sunday. We all got to move Sunday. We all got to move Sunday. Why don't you kneel and pray? We all got to move Sunday. We all got to move Sunday. Brother got to move, sister got to move. We all got to move Sunday.
Gonna play one more. We're gonna play one more from the Vikings. 7405, I tell you for a fact, it's coming at you this afternoon. Back in them days, in the 60s, we only had one turntable. And our one turntable me I use right now. So let's back to the beginning. We're gonna play one tune called Daddy. Yeah, our daddies. Big up on yourself on this tune right now. 7405 for the Viking crew. Take a listen to this. Sounds of Daddy. You know, they say the girls are the daddy's favorites, I tell you. Yeah, man, from the top on this one, our Jamaican Nights, Canadian Yachts, Heights. Oh, yo.
Oh, tell my money for me. I want to tell it all now, yeah. Tell her that I'm right here. I'm longing to see my mommy. I want to hold her up, I want to talk with her, I want to kiss her, I want to check her out. Let me tell you something, Daddy.
One more time for all the daddies. That sound a bit like Toots, don't it? Sound like Toots, I ain't too quite sure. Of course, we're running from the top again from this time. I tell you, hold on there now. Vinyl Sunday to all the daddies. Listen, big tune. I know every day you hear them tune, you know. I know every day you hear them tune, you know.
Oh, tell my money for me. I want to tell it all now, yeah. Tell her that I'm right here. I'm longing to see my mommy.
Got a couple of comments from people saying about the story about the ladies who got themselves locked up in Jamaica. Still waiting for a trial right now. I don't know how long ago that was, but 18 months, not good. Especially in a place that you don't know.
Let me tell you something, Daddy.
Sad situation, right? Very, very sad situation now.
Let me tell you something, Daddy. Once I was a weed far from my home. Didn't know how to come back home. Daddy. And one night, as I got up, I could see clearly. Look, there was nowhere inside. I didn't see my mom come to look for me. It was just a dream. And I decided my mind to go home. And I started up my grip and walked towards my door. I met a girl whose name Jean. She said, Toots, you know, I'm gonna give you a new name before.
It sounds like he said Toots, didn't he? He said Toots. Gotta be Toots.
She said, just because you look to be very great, that's why I'm gonna call you Mr. Santino Bono. Remy now you say me now you Remy now you say me now you kidding. That's my new name.
Sometimes we have vinyls put down way down in the box. Sometimes they don't get church for 10 years or more.
Got to call me Mr. Santino Bono.
Classic Reminaya, Seminaya, Sounds of Daddy, Sounds of Toots, here on skylineradio.org.uk, in junction with the Godfather live in the Man Cave. Well, all right, so we step out of that into this. Take a listen to this. Well, all right, John Holt, once again from the top.
I've seen the rain falling down. The sky was gray with a speck of blue there. Deep through a hole in the cloud.
One of the greatest moments I spent, and of course, this man, John Holt, I went and have an interview with him as well after a session. Apparently we woke him up, me and Mr. V. We kind of woke him up, and of course, somewhere in the top room, I've got cassettes on top of cassettes of jingles, and I'm still looking for his jingles right now. Oh, you mean? But John Holt, one of the greatest events that I saw with John Holt was at the Hummingbird, Dell Street in Birmingham. 4 o'clock, the man was still on stage. He was just, I don't know how much songs he sang that night, but I left. I had to go to work in the morning. It was one of the midweek dances. But this man was singing away like no one cared.
As you ramble through your sorrow.
Have you ever been to a great John Holt concert?
As if everything is wrong. Living in yesterday, tomorrow. I know that something must be.
So if you're looking for me on the YouTube, just go to YouTube and type in The Godfather _ Keep It Real, and it'll pop up live, I tell you.
What I can do about it. I'll take a melody and see what I can do about it. I understand why the old fisherman sail along, sail along, sail along.
Gotta say shout to that person right now. Sent me a video live in Jamaica, live on YouTube, on their TV. Manners and respect every time. What do you mean, brother? Yo!
I heard you talking about your troubles. Everybody's got their troubles too.
Well, coming to the end of the financial year, at the end of March, by April, some more things will have changed here on this platform. Like I said, taking things easy, one step at a time. No need to rush. We ain't forcing nobody right now. I want to say not forcing anybody right now. Don't forget you can subscribe. At any time I'm logged on, you can get a live show from The Godfather. So if you subscribe, you can subscribe and leave a message, details, etc. And you never know. We can have a conversation. We can have a conversation.
I'll take a melody and see what I can do about it. I'll take a melody and see what I can do about it.
Shout to you, Winston, Mexican. Big up yourself. Thank you, sir. Oh, you mean?
I understand why the old fisherman sail along, sail along, sail along. For someday you.
Yes, of course, Winston, of course. And don't forget, coming up very soon as well, 40-year anniversary of Love Injection. And tickets will be flying all over the place from different parts of England. We have some big sounds, some big guns, and it's been a long time since Saxon as well has also represented themselves alongside Love Injection. If you want tickets for that, don't forget check, of course, Country Duty for tickets on this side for that event. It's going to be a good one. I'm sure it's going to be a great show. Enough respect to all the people who are participating in the clashes as well. Let me see if I can just let me see if I can find this. while I'm doing that right now, I'm going to play you this right now. I found it, and I didn't put it in my archives of stuff. But I'm going to play it for you right now. Of course, you know about Melissa. We all know about Melissa. We haven't seen her in a real life, but we've seen her in a real form in terms of destruction. Whether she was just passing through or what, because we never see her directly, we can't say how she looked. But she wasn't pretty that particular morning when she went right through and ripped to Jamaica. All right, so another hurricane that kind of turned the place upside down. I'm going to play you something right now, which I think you're going to find very interesting, all right? Very, very interesting. And one of our locals who's just up the road, has went to Jamaica the other day and kind of looked at the situation. We talk about Lenny Henry. Lenny Henry. Again, I would play, but can't play right now because I'm taking a step at a time. Lenny Henry. We can do that. We can do that. Can we do that? Can we go?
You could get your money.
Okay, let's see what happens after this commercial break on this one right now, because obviously we're doing it straight from whatever platform we have it on right now. So let's just see what happens right now. But Lenny Henry went to Jamaica to visit the island, and he was kind of,
And actor Sir Lenny Henry is calling for support for relief efforts in Jamaica after parts of the country were devastated by Hurricane Melissa, one of the strongest storms ever to hit the Caribbean last autumn.
Sir Lenny's parents are from St Anne. He's just returned from visiting communities there as they work to rebuild and joins us now. Very good morning to you, Sir Lenny Henry. It is lovely to see you this morning, but how distressing for you was it to go in the wake of the hurricane, which was around 3 months ago, wasn't it, towards the end of last year, and see what's happened?
Just 185 mile per hour winds, Category 5 hurricane, smashing that region of the island, and it was really awful. As you said earlier, when I was walking around in Black River Parish, it felt like somebody had picked the island up, turned it upside down and smashed it onto the ground and then turned it back. Peter Tosh's house wrecked, entire communities wrecked. Jamaica needs urgent help, but the British Red Cross are doing whatever they can to help communities, providing food and water and aid and reconnecting families. You've got to imagine this. Do you remember when Michael Fish misdiagnosed the storm a few years ago in this country? Imagine that, but like 50 times worse. It's literally just smashed that whole region of the island. It was incredibly upsetting to see. And this is where my family are from. So to see this was just devastating for me.
We know that 45 people died, but more than 1.5 million people impacted. And obviously the devastation is clear to see in the pictures that we're seeing at the moment of you visiting those sites. You went to schools, didn't you, Lenny, and saw children. And of course, that's when it's the most heartbreaking, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah. I went to this place called Unity Primary School, and there were like 20 kids, all about 8 years old, all impacted by the hurricane, nowhere to live. Some of them, at least 20 of them, sleeping in this one classroom. School utterly destroyed, but there were people from the community sleeping in some of the spare classrooms now. These kids couldn't go to school. They'd all been impacted on their mental health. There was a wonderful person there teaching them relaxation techniques about deep breathing to calm themselves down when they felt PTSD from this. It was really, really moving. I mean, I just felt like the Red Cross are doing everything they can to help, but they need more help. It's an urgent thing going on here. And I went to their library at this school, and the roof had gone. And you walk in, and I love books. I love to read. And there were no books in this library. Whichever books were left were completely drenched. And it just broke my heart. So if people want to donate, I mean, please give as much as you can to the British Red Cross. Go to the Red Cross website and donate as much as you can. They really, really need it. Hurricane Gilbert was awful, and my family were impacted by that back in the day. But this was, to be in the middle of it was pretty devastating for me.
Can I ask you, Lenny, because you have such an amazing track record over decades on galvanising the British public. I went to see the musical One Night Only last week, which is the story of the Live Aid concert back in 1984. Yeah. Famine in Africa changed the whole direction of government policy, but Comic Relief which you started around the same time, for 30 years has been changing lives, but also bringing international issues to public attention. Do you think it is harder now in 2026 for you to galvanise the public to support these kind of causes compared to 10, 20, 30 years ago?
I think times we've been in and out of tough times in this country, but you know what's brilliant, Ed, is that the British public are so fantastic and so empathic about other people's problems. This idea of if this was happening over the road from your house, you'd go over there and help, really resonates with people. And I think that this idea that a community thousands of miles away is suffering, the British public always seem to respond in a way that is beyond expectations. They're wonderful. So to me, I just know that people care and want to help and will do something. Yes, it is tough now. And I think we know that. Comic Relief knows that. British Red Cross knows that. But it's about giving what you can, not kind of turning your bank account upside down and shaking it. No. It's about giving what you can to help people who really, really need it. Yeah. To see these kids having deep breathing exercises to sort of overcome the PTSD of having their roof blown off and having members of their family disappear because of the hurricane really affected me. And I think if you can imagine yourself being there and seeing that happening to you, you would want to help.
And you would know from your Comic Relief work that people need to know practically what it will actually mean and do. So if our viewers seeing these pictures and hearing your powerful testimony give to the British Red Cross, what difference will that make in the coming weeks and months for people in Jamaica?
Well, there's work happening. The Jamaican Red Cross and the International Red Cross are on the ground over there. There are local agencies working over there, but it's water, it's food. The Canadian government have sent people to kind of reconnect all the electrics and stuff. We're over there doing, it's really, really hard. Communities have been wrecked. And we know what that's like, don't we? You know, we've got this kind of whole, this blitz experience in this country. This has been like a bomb's gone off in this entire region and they need to rebuild it. And so, you know, going to the Red Cross website and donating what you can will help immeasurably.
Lenny, I just want to ask, we live in difficult times. I mean, many people find it very difficult watching the news, consuming so much bad news, it feels like. You know, you've just been over to try and lift the spirits as well as campaign, obviously, for, you know, fundraise. But how do you keep your spirits up? And you know, the charity itself said the children were excited by your presence there. How did you lift their spirits?
I'm kind of excited. I joined in with the lessons. I did the deep breathing exercises. There was a story about mental health, about how to kind of control yourself. And I tried to join in and help. And also remember, you know, Comic Relief hasn't gone away. Comic Relief is back this year, bigger and better than ever, trying to help people in this country and beyond. You know, there are people out there who are basically good, who want to help. And we have to hold on to that because times are tough and who knows when we're going to come out of it. But while we're in it, we work hard to help ourselves and other people. And I think that's the best of us. Let's be the best of us.
Well, thank you, Lenny, for inspiring the next generation as you inspired my generation and the generations in between. And you've made such a massive difference. There were times, I climbed Kilimanjaro for Comic Relief. There were times halfway up where I doubted you, but at the end I was glad I'd done it.
Don't blame me. You celebs, you just jump up a mountain when you're asked. You did it because you wanted to. You did it because you wanted to.
I did it because you told me I had to. You said I had to.
What party you're from? There's got to be something where your heart is touched and you go, do you know what? I'm gonna do something to help this. So if you can donate to British Red Cross, if you can actually, whatever charity you want to donate to, do a good thing today. It's a good thing.
Well, I mean, absolutely.
Couldn't
say it better. Thank you so much to Lenny Henry. Thank you for sharing your experience. No, not anytime. Anytime.
There you have it. The sounds of course, Lenny Henry there. Yeah, going through the motions, of course, where it's been happening in Jamaica. Where's this thing gone? Where's this thing gone? Well, all right, of course, what's been happening in Jamaica. Jamaica rebuilding after the Hurricane Melissa. And that happened on our Black History Month in October. I think it was on the 28th. And I was just thinking a while ago, why have Jamaica, America, and Britain has got separate times for their celebrations? Is any other countries out there in the Caribbean out there celebrating Black History Month? I wonder, do you know any other area that's celebrating Black History Month? I think the best thing to do is we might as well get used to the new thing that we got in front of us on our phones. Of course, AI, ask AI or Google it. How many other countries around the world celebrate Black History Month? Sorry, yeah. Which other country? I'm going to do that later on. I should have done that a long time, but you never know. Sometimes things don't pop up out of your head straight away, so it takes time for sometimes we to catch up. Yeah, catch up. Yeah, man, this tune is a bad tune, this. Let me say shout out to all my good friends who have been with me since the start of the YouTube. We're going to take it further into time. I'm seeing a lot of things I like and a lot of things I like to implement in the show as well. Being creative as I am. Those who want to participate with me on the new look, it's the way I feel so comfortable talking to you right now. I didn't realize after so long I've been hiding away on the radio. Couldn't see me, but you can. Hey, what do you mean? Hey. Sometimes when you got a good thing going, you got a good thing going on. And of course, we're going to talk to the man from the bank manager from the Club Bank in Litchfield Street in Wolverhampton very soon. We talk about Leon, all right? So we're going to hook him up and talk to him very, very soon about all the performances that have been taking place at the bank in Wolverhampton. Gotta say shout out to all the Caesars, once upon a time Caesars at the Grand Theatre in Wolverhampton. Remember the wine bar and the other room downstairs next to the Grand Theatre? When it was called Grand Theatre, well, the Victoria Hotel. That's the one I'm looking for. The Grand Victoria Hotel. Then downstairs at the side, they had the little wine bar. They call it Caesars. And there's a Caesars reunion taking place very, very soon at the bank. So if you're original Caesars from Bradigan and all those other places as well, we hop from one place to the next. And I've done the doors at all those places, I tell you. I've done them. I've done them. Well, all right, things are tough, things are hard, time for changes. Let's go into this conversation here right now. I want you to listen to this right now. Things change, time's hard. Yeah, time's hard for everybody right now. If you got it easy, you're lucky. But if you got it hard, you got to be twice as careful. You never know, you might buck your toe and you can't rise again.
Things change, now you see say life hard, you never used to send. No money come a yard, you're rich, you spend it. All I eat abroad, squander your money, now you're living like dog. Boy get the poor, come down in our one pants. Broke and no money, but me no respond. No abiding city one pressure for me ranch. And when him they are foreign, him did important. But him never did a look back, never did a glance. Never knew him would a tumble over like an avalanche. Mama down in the holy, and him don't buy her a lamp. Not a line, not a letter, nor a 50-cent stamp. Him father want her shoes and cannot go to remittance. When me hear the boy get deep, you know my vibes cramp.
Yo, that one that sound like a story we just heard a little while ago, but there's another side to the story. A man leave from country, go abroad, whether England, New York, or wherever, get rich and forget about the people back a yard. And then one day, boom, he get dip. And when he get dip, they send him back a yard. He say, boy, you go to England and you go to New York and all this time you don't send money for nothing. Your father wants shoes. We need this and we need that. And you out there are going like you're king of kings and the lords of lords. I never care about nobody else but yourself. What we say? Again? All right, again. Listen to the words of this one.
Things change. Now you see say life hard. You never used to send. No money come a yard. You rich, you spend it. All I eat abroad. Squander your money. Now you're living like dog. Boy get deep poor. Come down in our one pants. Broken on no money. But me no response. No abiding city one. Pressure for me ranch. And when him they are foreign, him did important. But him never did a look back, never did a glance. Never knew him would a tumble over like an avalanche. Mama down in the holy, and him don't buy her a lamp. Not a line, not a letter, nor a 50-cent stamp. Him father want her shoes and cannot go to remittance. When me hear the boy get deep, you know my vibes cramp. Send him back Uncle Sam, cause him dead and around. I know few thought you were dropping at the camp. Things change. Now you see say life hard. You never used to send. No money come a yard. You rich, you spend it. All I eat abroad. Squander your money. Now you're living like that. While dropping at the snow from about 79. Never get the chance, cause it wasn't my time. I'm here, you they are foreign, and commit the most crime. I make a bag of money, when me couldn't make a dime. Remember one time, gone how you used to brag. Benz and Lexus are where you did have. Clocks and Bali where you got in a bag. Clothes where you know we still have on name tag. Now you crash up, now you mash up. You never did a plan. You never did a check for lay no foundation. Me all our things change, and now you see say life hard. You never used to send. No money come a yard. You rich, you spend. All I eat abroad.
Yeah, I remember the pastor at the church service for Trevor Anderson said one word, kind of sticks in my head, that even he's having hard times too. Reverend Ken, Reverend King, I tell you. I like his garment he was wearing as well. Gonna say shout out to all the people at the Harvest Festival Church in Firetown. You know, they've been working hard, cameras and all sorts, and the people behind the scenes, they all know me. Yeah, man, now I know me. If it's not the Godfather, it's Monster. Monster, what go on? Big up me brethren jacket. Yeah, man.
Things change, and now you see say life hard. You never used to send. No money come a yard. You rich, you spend. All I eat abroad. Squander your money. Now you're living like
next week, Sunday, back to usual. We got some usual tracks to play. And big up Donovan. Boom Donovan. We got some songs that he wants me to play as well. So he's on my case today. But I said to him, brother, it's Vinyl Sunday.
Never did I look back. Never did I glance. Never knew him would have tumble over like like an avalanche.
Can I say shagging out to DJ Deluxe? Pick up yourself, sir. Oh, you mean long time? You've been here before. You've been after me, and I've been before you as well, back in the old days. We'll be talking to him very, very soon as well.
When me hear the boy get deep, you know my vibes cramp. Send him back Uncle Sam, cause him dead and around. I know few out a war dropping at the camp.
Well, okay.
I know few out you are.
Gonna play you something right now. It's a different correspondent, but same thing. Time's hard. Things change. Gonna play something here right now that may concern many people out there right now. And it's called Do You Own a House? Do you own a house? All right. You have a... Okay. All right. Gonna get it up right now. You have a house. You own a house. That track there, very popular. Time's hard. Things that change. Not just because we're talking about overseas. In your own backyard, in your own house, things are hard. Time for change. We may not want to change certain things, but society makes us change how we do things and how we think. And sometimes you just want to hold your position, or you just want to hold your position. Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, nah. But you find yourself, because once upon a time we used to talk about credit cards and all these things and the mark of the beast and 999 and all these things. Myth of conversation goes here, there, and out everywhere throughout one ear and out the other side. And nowadays, majority of us don't walk with cash no more. We have a card. And you tend to spend more with your card because you don't see the physical change in your pocket. And from time to time, I go into my account and I look at my details, etc. And I move A to B and B to A and all these things on my phone and make sure, I don't even need to go to the bank anymore. Those were the days. If I need to go to ATM card to get some cash out of the machine, it's very rare I do that nowadays because most places now are accepting your card. You go to certain venues right now, you don't need no cash, you just take a card out and pay for it. It's simple something. You go to certain places, like for instance, in our own little race course in Wolverhampton, for those who know Wolverhampton, you go to venues there, you can't buy it. You can't, there's no cash. It's all card. You got to pay for everything by card. That take away the limit and the temptation of people robbing the place because there's nothing there. Just cards, just digital numbers that's running the place. Numbers. We get a number when we're born. We get a number when we die. We get a number when we start a new job. We get a number when you go on the Social Security. It's all about numbers. We're all part of that numbers game. If you don't think you're part of the numbers game, then you're not living a life. You're hiding away in some dark corner thinking it ain't going to happen to me. But you're playing with yourself because you got to look at the life you live in, the life you live, and live the life you love and live the life you live. It's changing. As much as we use all these words, times are changing. I'm going to play something right now. We're just going to put a lot of people's back up right now. Let me say back up, but this is reality. Whether it's true or not. Big up all those who have received their pension and all these things and all these arguments about pension. Some people take the pension thing as a joke. Joke? At least we've reached that pension, that 66 or wherever it may be that your pension should be. Your time, many people that I know didn't reach that far. So when people want to mock those who are now pensioners, remember who chose stone span glass roof, it go ready. Until you reach there, don't show no stone, because somehow we now reach there. But I've reached there. I'm there. Take a listen to this. Very interesting. I'm going to have a hot drink, because I need a hot drink. And I'll be back in a while. But in the meantime, don't touch that dial. You're going to hear something going to make you talk. All of you talk. Godfather live in the music room.
Imagine working for 45 years. You wake up early. You pay your taxes. You pay your national insurance. You sacrifice expensive holidays to pay off your mortgage. You do everything the system told you to do. You are the model citizen. Now, Imagine waking up on your 67th birthday. You walk to the doormat to pick up the letter from the Department for Work and Pensions. You open it, expecting to see confirmation of your state pension, the safety net you have paid into since you were 18. But the letter doesn't say 221s per week. It says, entitlement, 0 ounds. Why? Because you own your own home. Because you were prudent enough to pay off your mortgage. Because your assets exceed the new wealth threshold. Welcome to the year 2026. The contract between the state and the citizen has been torn up. The rumours coming out of Westminster are no longer just rumours. The Treasury, desperate to plug a black hole in the public finances, is preparing the unthinkable, means testing, the state pension based on property wealth. They are calling it targeted support for the neediest. But let's call it what it really is, a tax on prudence, a punishment for saving, and the biggest rug pull in the history of the British welfare state. In this video, I am going to expose the leaked plans that could strip millions of middle-class homeowners of their retirement income. I'm going to explain why the national insurance you paid was a lie. I'm going to show you how the government plans to force you to sell your family home just to buy food in your old age. And, most importantly, I am going to discuss the strategies you need to implement now to protect your wealth before the Chancellor changes the rules. Before we dive into the numbers that will make your blood boil, I need to ask you for a massive favour. We are the only channel on YouTube investigating this specific policy aggressively, and the powers that be do not want this conversation to happen. They want you asleep at the wheel. We are growing fast, but 80% of people watching this video right now are not subscribed. We need to reach 100,000 subscribers to make our voice impossible to ignore in Westminster. So, if you believe you have a right to the pension you paid for, please take 2 seconds right now to click that subscribe button and turn on the bell. It costs you nothing, but it helps us fight for your financial future. Done it. Thank you. Now, let's look at the betrayal. Let's start by destroying the biggest myth in British finance, the National Insurance Fund. Most people believe that when they see national insurance deducted from their payslip, that money goes into a personal pot with their name on it. A bit like a savings account. You put money in, and when you retire, you get it back. This is a lie. It has always been a lie. There is no pot, there is no vault with your name on it. National insurance is a Ponzi scheme. The money you pay today is used to pay the pensions of the people who are retired today. Your money is gone. It was spent yesterday. The system relies on there being enough young workers to pay for the old retirees. In 1950, there were 5 workers for every 1 pensioner. The system worked. In 2020, that ratio is collapsing. We are heading towards 2 workers for every 1 pensioner. The mathematics simply do not work. The Ponzi scheme is running out of new investors. So the government has 2 choices. Choice A, bankrupt the country. Choice B, break the promise. They are choosing choice B. So what is the means test proposal? Currently, the state pension is universal. It doesn't matter if you are a pauper or a millionaire. If you have 35 qualifying years on your NI record, you get the full amount. The new proposal shifts the state pension from a right to a benefit. Just like universal credit, they want to assess your wealth before they pay out. But here is the trap. If they only assessed cash in the bank, most pensioners would be fine. Most people £100,000 in cash sitting in Barclays, but the proposal includes total net worth, and the biggest component of your net worth is your house. Thanks to the housing bubble that the government itself inflated, millions of ordinary people are paper millionaires. You might have bought a semi-detached house in Bristol or Brighton in 1990 for £60,000. Today, that house is worth £650,000. You don't feel rich. You still shop at Aldi. You still watch the heating bill. But to the government computer, you are asset rich. The proposed is £500,000. If your total assets, house plus savings, are over £500,000, your state pension starts to taper off. If you have over £750,000, you get zero. Nothing. Despite paying in for 45 years, this effectively says, if you were responsible, if you bought a house, if you paid it off, you are on your own. If you spent every penny you earned on holidays and rented all your life, the state will look after you. It flips the moral incentive of society upside down. It punishes the ant and rewards the grasshopper. Now, you might be thinking, they can't do that. It's political suicide. Is it? Look at the demographics. The government knows they have lost the vote of the older generation. They are focused on the younger voters who are locked out of the housing market. To a 25-year-old renting a shoebox flat for £1,500 a month, the idea of paying taxes to fund the pension of a boomer living in an £800,000 four-bedroom house seems unfair. The government will spin this as intergenerational fairness. They will say, why should the working poor pay for the retired rich? They will weaponise the generation gap to pass this legislation. They will paint you, the homeowner, as the villain hoarding wealth. It is the classic strategy of divide and conquer. They turn the young against the old so that nobody looks at the real culprit. The government's own economic does. Mismanagement. Let's look at the financial impact of this. The full new state pension is around £11,500 a year. For a couple, that is £23,000 a year. For many retirees, that is 50% or even 70% of their income. If you take that away, what happens? You have a couple living in a £600,000 house, but with zero income. How do they pay the council tax? How do they pay the heating? How do they eat? This brings us to the second part of the trap, forced downsizing. The government wants you to sell your house. There is a housing shortage. They claim older people are under-occupying family homes. By cutting your pension, they are forcing your hand. You will have two choices. Sell the home you raised your family in, move to a small flat, and use the equity to live on. Take out equity release, and equity release is the bank's favourite product. It allows you to borrow money against your house to pay for your retirement. But the interest rates compound. It eats into the inheritance you wanted to leave your children. So instead of passing your wealth to your kids, you pass it to the bank to pay for the retirement the state promised to fund. It is a mechanism to strip wealth from the middle class. It ensures that the next generation inherits nothing, keeping them on the hamster wheel of renting and working. It is the ultimate death tax, but you pay it while you're still alive. And how will they know? How will they enforce this? Digital ID and open banking. As we discussed in previous videos, the infrastructure for total financial surveillance is being built. The Land Registry knows exactly what your house is worth. HMRC knows exactly what your savings are. It is a simple database query to link your national insurance number to your assets. Currently, the state pension is automatic. In the future, you will have to apply for it. And the application form will ask, do you own property? What is its value? If you lie, it's fraud. If you tell the truth, you get nothing. This creates a terrifying scenario for those approaching retirement. You made plans based on receiving that £11,500 a year. You calculated your pot. Suddenly, the goalposts have moved not just a few inches, but to a different stadium. You are left with a gap in your finances that is impossible to fill in just a few years. This is why the anger is growing. It's not just about the money. It's about the breach of trust. You entered into a contract with the UK government. I pay now, you pay me later. You held up your end of the bargain. They are defaulting on theirs. So, Is this set in stone, or is there a way out? The government will likely introduce this in phases to prevent riots. They might start by freezing the triple lock for wealthy pensioners. Then they will introduce a partial taper. Then the full ban. But the direction of travel is clear. The universal safety net is being dismantled. So what can you do to protect yourself? We have to stop thinking like citizens and start thinking like wealth managers. Strategy 1. The gift strategy. Inheritance tax rules currently allow you to gift money to your children tax-free if you survive for 7 years. If the state pension becomes means tested based on assets, holding on to assets becomes a liability. Many financial planners are now suggesting early inheritance. Give the money to your kids now. Help them get on the property ladder. Remove the assets from your name. If you don't own the money, the means test can't see it. However, you have to be careful with deprivation of assets rules. If the government thinks you gave money away specifically to claim benefits, they can claw it back. But if you gave it away to help your daughter buy a house 10 years ago, that is much harder for them to challenge. The key is acting early. If you wait until the law is passed, it's too late. Strategy 2. The pension shield. Currently, private pension pots are often treated differently to savings and property. Depending on how they write the law, keeping wealth inside a SIP, self-invested personal pension, might shield it from the calculation, whereas money in an ISA or a property might be counted. We need to watch the legislation wording very closely. They might exclude the primary residence up to a certain value, or they might target investment properties first. If you have buy-to-let properties, you are target number 1. The government sees landlords as the enemy. They will almost certainly say, if you have a rental property, you don't need a state pension. Selling up and moving that capital into a different vehicle might be the only way to save your entitlement. Strategy 3. The die broke philosophy. This is controversial, but it's gaining popularity. If the system punishes you for saving, the logical reaction is to stop saving. Spend it. Go on the cruise. Buy the new car. Fix the roof. Enjoy the wealth you created while you're alive. There is a famous book called Die with Zero. The argument is that money has no value when you are dead, and if the government is going to confiscate it or means test it away, you might as well enjoy the fruit of your labour. It sounds reckless, but in a rigged system, it might be the only rational move. Why live frugally for 40 years just to have the government tell you, you have too much, we are cutting you off? If you have zero assets because you spent them on life experiences, the state has to pay you. It is a sad state of affairs when spending everything is better financial advice than saving for a rainy day. But that is the perverse incentive structure they have created. Let's look at the grey vote rebellion. There is one thing that can stop this. You. Pensioners and those over 50 are the most powerful voting bloc in the UK. You turn up. You vote. The government is testing the waters. They are leaking these ideas to the press to see how you react. If the reaction is weak, they will proceed. If the reaction is fury, they will back down. This happened with the dementia tax years ago. The public outrage was so high they had to U-turn. We need to create that level of outrage again. This isn't just about you, it's about the principle of the system. If they break the pension promise, what's next? Will the NHS be means tested? Oh, you have savings? Pay for your own hip operation. It is a slippery slope towards the total Americanization of our welfare system, but with European levels of taxation. The worst of both worlds. This brings us to the psychological aspect. Many of you feel guilty. You listen to the media telling you that boomers ruined the economy. Do not accept that narrative. You worked in factories, mines, offices and shops for decades. You dealt with 15% interest rates in the 80s. You dealt with the 2008 crash. You paid your dues. The fact that your house went up in value is due to government monetary policy, printing money, not because you did anything wrong. You should not be punished for inflation that the Bank of England created. Do not let them gaslight you into thinking you don't.
Well, okay. Well, okay. Is this a fact, or is it for real, or is this kind of misleading information that many of us have seen on the platform? And as many of us may have heard this information, who do we clarify to clarify the fact that this is what's really going to happen, or is it just a myth or something to make people think a certain type of way? Society has a way of putting things together so you and I can think in a certain way to make it a conversation and make it misleading. I pray that for a particular reason, because I didn't have the answers to that. But somehow this information has reached many others who may think different about what I've just heard. Ramping with the state pension would be a serious thing. And if the pot is almost empty and national insurance is not really what it's supposed to be. I know the national insurance for paying our national insurance for our medication and so forth, etc., and other things. It supports me in my health and everything else. That's why when we go to the hospital, because we pay our national insurance and all these things, we can get priorities, we get things that we need, and our attention gets seen to. The information I received just a while ago state that this information of pension is misleading and totally a load of rubbish. Maybe so. Maybe. What may concern some may not concern others, but we talk about receiving properties when someone dies, that you get to pay 40% or the government takes a percentage of your whatever it may be. Inheritance tax and all these, everything's being taxed. I had an argument with someone about the other day about Conservative and the Labour Party, and the Labour Party is known for its taxation. As you can see right now, everything is still being taxed. Are we living in a world of are we living in a world of Robin Hood? Them days when everything was taxed and you couldn't move unless you're being taxed and all these things, and how much you try to dodge the tax office, it seems to find you in other ways. Don't worry about it. Do your own investigation. That's what I say. Do your own investigation. Not saying because I played, I'm switching. I'm not switching. I played something that could make a lot of you think about the whole situation, about your life and things in the future to come. And this may take time, decades to happen. I don't know. But sometimes in life we have to look at our finances and our situation in life. Like I said to you many times before, not everything is all about dancing and flash up your light and all this. There's times when we're going to do things and look at things properly, mentally and physically. This is ScarletRadio.org.uk here right now. I hope I haven't sort of upset you this afternoon, but there are other things out there that are upsetting too as well. You've also played something from Black History Month in America. You probably say to yourself, wow, is this man for real? Is this man for real? Donald Trump talks about Black History Month, and here's a man who wants to strip black history from history books. But in the beginning, he gave black people the praises when he got into power about if it wasn't for us as people, we wouldn't be here and this and that. You played a big part in building the system and rare. And then all of a sudden, he wants to flip the coin. Donald Trump, he says one thing and does the other. Can he be trusted? Well, all right. We're on that note. I want you to take a listen to this one. SkylineRadio.org.uk in the afternoon. Let's get serious. Let's have a little bit of seriousness about our lives and the things that we do, and probably the things that we say. But at the end of the day, the decision lies with yourself, not with me. Yourself. We can all say something about something, but at the end of the day, it's all about yourself. Take a listen to this. Black History Month in America from Donald Trump. When you're ready.
Donald Trump hosted a Black History Month celebration at the White House today. What followed was one of the most unhinged displays of racism we've witnessed from this administration. He threatened to invade Atlanta. He rattled off names of black people he claims as friends without knowing what jobs he gave them. And he made disturbing comments about Nicki Minaj's physical appearance. Throughout his presidency, Trump has deliberately worked to erase black history nationwide. Today, he attempted to substitute his own narrative, a fantasy where everyone adores him and only the left-wing media portrays him negatively. That fantasy collapsed immediately when he delivered overtly racist remarks that are now spreading across the internet. The event opened with Trump boasting about his ballroom. Then he claimed the 2020 election was stolen from him. Then came the threat against Atlanta. Pay attention to his word choices. Them, they, those people.
Need a little help. You need help in Atlanta. He just said, you're right, Atlanta, we could take care of Atlanta. I'll tell you what, you ought to get them to call me. We could take care of Atlanta so fast. They don't want to call. They don't want to call because they don't want to admit it, and they'll never fix it themselves. Don't forget, we move people out. We don't just go in and, be tough guys. We move people out. We take career criminals and we get them out. We bring them back to the country from where they came. And think of it, 90% of the crime is caused by 2% of the people. Think of it. So when you get the criminals out, you solve a lot of problems.
You need help in Atlanta. We could take care of Atlanta so fast. They don't want to call because they don't want to admit it. They'll never fix it themselves. We move people out. We take career criminals and get them out. Then this, 90% of the crime is caused by 2% of the people. He delivered that statistic at a Black History Month event. Let that register. This behavior stems from Trump's current emotional state. He's been feeling diminished lately. Days ago, he published racist content targeting the Obamas. Members of his own party criticized him. He experienced that criticism as an attack on his strength. So at a celebration of Black History Month, his response was threatening a predominantly black city with federal intervention. This pattern repeats constantly. Remember when Trump welcomed the Stanley Cup champions to the White House? He examined those enormous hockey players and remarked, "You're so big and strong, but I have the U.S. military." That reveals his psychology completely. Whenever he perceives weakness in himself, he reaches for displays of force. Whenever he faces criticism, he threatens vulnerable communities. His other defense mechanism today was demonstrating he possesses black friends, as if that proves anything.
Mike Tyson, boy, I tell you, Mike has been loyal to me. Whenever they come out, they say, Trump's a racist. It's like a statement. Trump's a racist. Mike Tyson goes, he's not a racist. He's my friend. He's been there from the beginning, good times and bad. But Mike Tyson's a great guy, and he was so loyal, always been loyal.
Mike Tyson apparently adores him. They created a video together punching donuts. That's his evidence against racism accusations. Consider the glaring hypocrisy here. When Michelle Obama, a black woman, promoted nutritious school meals, conservatives labeled it government overreach. They attacked her viciously for years. But Trump produces a donut destruction video with a celebrity, and that demonstrates his commitment to wellness. That's supposed to prove he's not prejudiced. The identical pattern emerges with RFK Jr. He delivers incoherent speeches about parasites in his brain, removing fluoride from municipal water, eliminating artificial coloring from candy. Media treats him as an innovative thinker. But Michelle Obama recommending daily exercise, some vegetables, reduced carbohydrates. Suddenly, she's destroying America. We all comprehend the actual reason these situations receive different treatment. Trump persisted with his parade of black acquaintances, though he clearly cannot recall what positions he assigned them.
Always been loyal. And Herschel Walker, speaking about loyal, how good a football player was Herschel? Herschel Walker, now he's ambassador to the Bahamas. I don't know, Bahamas, Bermuda, is he Bahamas, whatever. It's nice, a nice place. You'd like that, Bruce, wouldn't you? Bruce wants it.
What role does Herschel occupy? Ambassador to Barbuda, the Bahamas? Which island nation exactly? Trump has no idea. He genuinely cannot remember. These individuals aren't colleagues to him. They're not people he respects or knows. They're defensive shields, human props he deploys whenever someone accurately identifies his bigotry. I have black friends represents his complete argument. That's the entirety of his defense. Then the situation deteriorated significantly. Trump began discussing Nicki Minaj. This segment might represent the most uncomfortable moment of the entire event.
Good stuff, right? From jazz to the blues, that you know, that you do get recognition for. Jazz, the blues, from rock and roll to rap, black artists like Chuck Berry, Muddy Waters. How about Nicki Minaj? Do we love Nicki Minaj? I love Nicki Minaj. She was here a couple of weeks ago. She's so beautiful. Her skin's so beautiful. I said, Nicki is so beautiful. Her nails are like that long. I said, Nicki, are they real? She said, she didn't want to get into that. But she was so beautiful and so great. And she gets it, you know, more importantly, frankly, she gets it. But black leaders.
He complimented her skin. During a Black History Month celebration, he discussed her fingernails. Who composed these remarks? Stephen Miller certainly didn't. Miller lacks the capacity to generate positive statements about people of color regardless of financial incentive. So this originated from Trump himself. Mike Tyson appreciates him. Herschel Walker performs excellently in some position somewhere. And Nicki Minaj possesses attractive skin. That constitutes his Black History Month observance. That's his rebuttal to racism allegations. The entire gathering resembled a cognitive episode unfolding publicly. Trump improvised throughout, desperately seeking validation, constantly requiring confirmation that attendees supported him. But his genuine objectives regarding Black Americans and Black history remain transparent. Trump seeks to eliminate Black history because it threatens his broader agenda. The surveillance state Trump constructs has targeted Black and brown communities throughout our national history. Oppression motivated its creation. Understanding that context exposes precisely what Trump attempts today. When observers express disbelief at federal agents violating constitutional rights, breaking through doors, killing citizens publicly, Black history provides the framework. None of this lacks precedent. America has witnessed these patterns repeatedly. Black history also preserves the strategies of leaders who defeated authoritarian oppression, the tactics that succeeded against seemingly insurmountable power, the movements that achieved victory when victory appeared impossible. Trump attacks this history aggressively because that knowledge endangers his project. But his campaign against Black history is failing. Communities are successfully preserving this knowledge despite federal interference. Rachel Maddow documented these victories extensively.
Now, you've probably heard about the fact that over this past year, President Donald Trump ordered the physical removal of all references to slaves and slavery at that National Historic Site. Well, today, a big change in that case. Today, Happy President's Day, a federal judge in the Eastern District of Pennsylvania ordered that the Trump administration must put those references to slaves and slavery back up. The judge in the case is a Republican appointee from the George W. Bush administration, and she starts her remarkable ruling today with a quote from 1984 from George Orwell. She then says, quote, as if the Ministry of Truth in George Orwell's 1984 now existed with its motto, ignorance is strength. This court is now asked to determine whether the federal government has the power it claims to dissemble and disassemble historic truths when it has some domain over historical facts. It does not. Honestly, this is your President's Day present this year, this ruling. Let me give you a little bit more from it. The President's House, meaning that site in Philadelphia, represents the city of Philadelphia fulfilling an obligation to tell the truth, the whole complicated truth. Removal of the crucial interpretive materials there strips that site of that truth and deprives the public of educational opportunities designed to be free and accessible. The abrupt elimination of historically significant educational material at the site is like pulling pages out of a history book with a razor. Each person who visits the President's house in Philadelphia and does not learn of the realities of founding-era slavery receives a false account of this country's history. Worse yet, the judge says, worse yet, the potential of having the exhibits replaced by an alternative script, a plausible assumption at this time, would be an even more permanent rejection of the site's historical integrity.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, all right, so there's a lot of information there that probably we don't understand because we're not living in America, but you get the drift of the discussion regarding how Donald Trump sees we as people in terms of our black history and the fact that he mocks it in a way that you always hear the story about people always say, yeah, about my best friends are black and all these things, and they've got no knowledge of what behind the argument sometimes. And yeah, Donald Trump, eh? Donald Trump. Well, all right, so we got more like that to come in the next couple of weeks, and of course information that a lot of people want to hear. A lot of people really do want to hear the other side of the documentaries of what's happening around the world. And like I said before, you know, everything, we have time to parties and all these things, but we must find time to look at ourselves, find ourselves, be real. Some people might use the word keep it real in a different way. That's their real. In the real terms, in the real world, we have to look forward to a better real world for our children. And as we as elders who are not actually putting our foot forward to help our children will always be in confusion. When your mom and dad was around, when your grandpa was around and grandma was around, that generation of our generation knew about their upbringing and how they brought us up. We got beatings, we got lashed, we got beaten, because that's the only thing they knew how to control, based on the same way how the slave masters behaved when they wanted to control our ancestors. And then, you know, our ancestors did the same to us as children. I got beat, you get beaten, we got a little touch, but after a while that have to stop. Because I remember when I was getting beaten, I just hold on to the switch and say, yo, that ain't happening no more. That ain't happening no more. And then from that day, I never got beaten again because enough is enough. Talk to us, teach us. Ignorance doesn't get us very far. It doesn't cost you nothing just to listen. Because someone might use great words greater than yourself, it doesn't mean that they're better than you. Remember, not because they're using big words that you don't understand, that they're better than you. Simple words get the simple message across to understand. And that's why sometimes these politicians, when they're being asked one question, they can't answer the one question. They go round and round and round. And the poor presenter hosting the show is asking the question time, and you've seen it before on television, asking the same question, and they're still going round and round. Don't want to commit themselves, but yet they want us to be voting them in power. Star was under pressure, more pressure than you think. I think he's got more to come. Before the May election, you might see more things happening. Donald Trump on his tariff in America, the courts have overridden him in Bex, In Bex, happy with that. Because here comes now the Supreme Court's now putting them foot down, and other people start putting them foot down because Donald Trump can be broken. But it's how you go about things. Organize. On the 21st of February, let me just open this up and just get this information up properly. February the 21st, 1965. This ain't right. This can't be right. Do we skip that? (1965), 21st of February. This is back to front. Malcolm X was born, and that would have been yesterday. Today is the 22nd. And died on May the 19th, 1925. Sometimes you look at American stuff and look at our stuff, it's back to front. You know how they do their dates, it's the other way around. You got to be quick to work it out sometimes. A man who stand for nothing and fell for anything. Malcolm X. Remember I told you last week that on Valentine's Day, they firebombed Malcolm X's house, and his wife and his 4 daughters had to leave and run away because that time things are tough, and that particular year he passed away. Let that be something to think about. When you're thinking about Valentine's Day, think about what happened to Malcolm X. And Mr. Johnson, who passed as well. A great activist. That's the word to use? Yeah, that word. A lot of the black revolutionaries from out of America did a lot of fight alongside Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Jesse Johnson. Let me just get this information up right now. Let's get this up right now. Many people we've lost, and we're losing a lot more as well. A man that is always there in the background, fighting for the black liberation of Americans, and we got many of those here in England as well. Many say they are the same as well, but some of them, when it gets tough and it gets rough, you don't see them. No, man, you don't see them. And and I'm going to say something here right now that might make people feel like, wow, Godfather. When we have things to fight for amongst our own people, we talk about liberation and black people and Black History Month and all these things, and we need to put a little bit of force behind it. A little bit of force, a little bit of impact. And that little bit of impact can make a big difference to the organization of things that we want to present to our children in the future. How much do the churches play a part in that, really? Really. I got many people who are friends in the church, and we have discussions about church and the way that they do their thing and how they portray themselves out there to the public. Are you being undercovered, or are you being just hiding away, just hiding behind the Bible? Sometimes I have discussions with people, and they always use the God is always there for me. God will be doing this. I said, I'm asking you about God. I'm asking about you as an individual, to able to react as a human being, quick time, rather than keep telling me about the Bible will do this for me, the God will do this for me. No. I didn't ask about God. If I had confidence in that much in God, I wouldn't be asking you questions, because I know that God's always right. But We don't know. We assume God's right, but don't forget the Bible has been changed many times. But who for me to judge anybody? Who God bless, it's not me to curse anybody. So. Well, it's been an interesting show today, I must say. I don't want to get too deep into it neither, because obviously, some people can take things the wrong way. But you always do your research before you start to talk about various things with other people. Better to be safe on the safe side than be on the wrong side. But who knows what's right and what's wrong? Sometimes you want a quick reaction. You're in a conversation with people and somebody might say something to you that, okay. And also say, okay, because I'm going to investigate it and look it up and find out how it go. Then I'll get back to that person, say to that person, you said such and such and such and such. And he might say, or she might say, where did you find that from? I says, well, I looked at such and such and such, and this is what came up. I love doing that. Obviously, we were never fully proper educated at school about our history and knowledge about the world that we're living in. I have a friend in Jamaica by the name of Gangouli. He's done an album called Fake World. Fake world that we're living in. And I'll be talking to him very soon. Soon. We're in some negotiation here right now. Fake world. Gangouli. He talks about some things that I've seen many people talk about as well. He's not the only one. Support is great. And sometimes people need to sort of, if you ain't going to support something, don't bother. Try to break it down, because you're not justifying yourself as a friend or as somebody who wants to learn to pass on information to others. The clip about the of course, the pension and so forth. Got a couple of people send me some messages here, and very interesting and an eye-opener, and they would like me to forward the information from where I found it from. And they can make their own decision about what I just said a while ago. Things hard, and times are hard. Seriously, times are hard. Coming to the end of that program right now. 13:53. Thank you for listening. Thank you for finding the time to be with me today. Obviously, we've got far more to do to make this even better than what you see. You ain't seen nothing yet. Just for me to find that time to manifest the whole operation of what I'm intend to do. Nothing different than what anybody else would do. It's just that it's just me as an individual. And your support will be well appreciated week after week. We'll be on live from 12 till 2 every Sunday. Live spares. But I'll be here. I'll be happy to talk to you and to play you some songs and go to some debates and all these things, and of course. But one of the biggest things that came out of the conversation, which I'm going to play next week, I ain't got time to do it right now, but, we hear other people in different parts of the Caribbean talk about, they never teach me nothing at school. The only thing I know about school was, and I'm going to say the word as well, the only thing they taught us about was Christopher Columbus. And that was a total lie, if one was to really rectify that situation in the proper manner. Not Nagosa. Burning Spear was a man that decided to sing that, and that tune will always stick around. Christopher Columbus was a damn blasted liar. We use the word blasted. Blasted. They blasted out to say that he was the man that discovered certain parts of the world, and yet people was there before him. So why didn't he go there and say he saw people there before he got there? But he said he discovered, because they always said the pen is mightier than the sword. That's the old English motto. Yeah, But sometimes behind that pen is hidden information that's hide us from seeing the truth at times. Well, all right. So anyway, I'm going to play the last tune right now. I'm going to play a Gregory Isaacs. Yeah, man. Bridge over troubled waters. Yeah, man. Bridge over troubled waters. Gregory Isaacs. Over the bridge. So let's cross over the bridge because a little later on at 2 o'clock we got Captain inside the house. At 5 o'clock, Valentino. 7:30, Mr. Fix. And at 10 o'clock, Redskin Levi, Vinyl Sunday. Well, all right. Gregory, where else are we, brother?
Lord, so we were sitting, raindrops on my roof, Lord, in my house isn't waterproof, sunshine on my bed, and there's no pillow at my head, Lord, no, like a letter that sticks to a stamp, yeah. You get me living like a tramp, Lord, no. I'm like a woman on the corner, yeah. Who nobody gives a damn. Lordy, Lordy, Lord, Lord, Lord. There's no food into my fridge, but on the stove there's some cornmeal porridge. And as long as I keep my courage in, Jah will help me cross the bridge. Over the bridge. Over the bridge. Over the bridge.
Over the bridge, I tell you, Gregory Isaacs, the last one from me. Received an email this week. I received an email calling me Godfather Radio on the YouTube and asking me for donations for an organization I have no knowledge of.
In my house isn't waterproof. Sunshine.
You know me by now. If we don't have a conversation before time, you can't ask me for anything.
Pillow at my head.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
No. Like a letter that sticks to a stamp, yeah. You get me living.
Can I say shout out to DJ Sensi? Good afternoon to you, sir. I tell you, thank you for your response.
Woman on the corner, yeah. Who nobody gives a damn.
Can I say shout to you, Val?
Lord, Lord.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Food into my fridge, but on the stove there's some cornmeal porridge. And as long as I keep my courage in, Jah will help me cross the bridge. Over the bridge. Over the bridge. Over the bridge. Over the bridge. Jah will help me cross the bridge. I've got too much raindrops in my room. In this house of mine isn't water.
So shout to all my YouTubers and big up yourself. If you haven't participated yet, nevertheless, we're here every week, all right? So nothing's done, nothing's said. We'll get it all to you. We'll get it all to you in good time. All the information details that's available to you on the YouTube, we'll bring it to you live on the Godfather Keep It Real Sunday show. So for the Skyline family, myself, and the Sunday team, final team, goodbye, God bless, take care, until we meet next week Sunday. Bye for now.
Over the bridge, over the bridge. I was alright. I put my shoulders over your head. Oh, look at me. Lord. Raindrops on my roof. And this is set my name. Isn't really waterproof.
Skyline Radio gives you the action, makes you feel like Skyline Radio exploding in your radio.